In the last video, along with the concept of fringe bead, we were lastly discussing about least distance of where the fringes of two different wavelengths overlap. And while doing so, we had arrived to the final expression n divided by m equal to lambda 2 divided by lambda 1. So once we are available with that n by m ratio, we get n and m corresponding values by getting the ratio lambda 2 by lambda 1, and immediately we can go to that least distance at which overlapping takes place. For that I'll be using equation xnb for the lambda 1 if I call n lambda 1 d divided by d. So n I have made available. Lambda 1 is given, d is given, small d is given. You can work out least distance at which fringes of two different wavelength, bright fringes of two different wavelength overlap. So after this, in today's video, we shall cover few more things which are again associated with fringes and YDSC setup. So say in a YDSC setup with the single source, monochromatic source, the nature of pattern that we get you are aware of. We get alternate bright and dark fringes depending upon which color you are using, which wavelength you are using, bright bands of that particular wavelength or particular color, and dark bands, where you have no color, completely dark it is. But now the question is, instead of using monochromatic light, if I use white light source in a YDSS setup, I would like to see what would be the changes in the pattern. So let us discuss then the things which I will be having if white light source is used in YDSS setup. As I said, I am going to use white light. So I have again the same YDSC setup what is there here. Two slits are there. This is my screen. Center of screen I would call. And if the source is monochromatic, at O we get bright band, which we refer as a central bright band, a reference band you can call. But I have here now the source used is a white light source. So there are 7 different wavelengths in the white light in the order of Vibgor. So what will happen is that all the wavelengths which are coming out from the source S1 and S2, in arriving at O, all the wavelengths, be it violet color, indigo color or red color, all of them will have zero path difference in arriving at O. So then naturally, of all those color, bright band I get at O. So all those bright bands are going to overlap at O. And as a result of which, at O, what we get is a bright band where all the colors are getting overlapped. So This is a white bright band. So what I have at O? White bright band. With monochromatic source, this bright band was accompanied both the side alternate bright and dark. But mind that in the present case with white light source, no more dark I get anywhere. Rather what will happen, at all the places, whichever you take, I will have at least one of the wavelength out of 7 which satisfies condition for constructive interference. So then naturally at all the places I'll get a bright, but bright color of particular wavelength. So by using white light source, I don't get alternate bright and dark no more. Rather I get a pattern with the central bright band as of white color, the remaining bands both the side accompanied by colored bands. Then when I mention that colored bands I am going to get, obviously the curious question I will have in mind, how will be the order of those colored bands? To understand that, I need to go back with the equation for position of bright band in the interference pattern. If you remember, I have that expression xnb equal to n lambda d by d. The point to be noticed here. So location of bright band is directly proportional to wavelength, I would say. Because for all the color, this D and D is same. Rather which is a dependent on setup. So then what left out is lambda. In that we've got, violet color is of least wavelength. Red wavelength is of higher wavelength. Red color is of higher wavelength. So then naturally, that color which is of least wavelength will be close from center. So soon after the central bright band, I'll be getting a violet color. Then I'll be getting a indigo color band. Then I'll be getting a blue. Then green, yellow, orange, and red. So with the center as a white bright, I will have violet band, indigo band, blue band, green band, yellow band, orange band, red band, and so on. Same way to the other side I will have. And after that, does it mean that I have end over there? No. This is the first order, you can say. N equal to 1 I have for all the colors. Now same way n equal to 2 again I will have here violet starting. Again over here I have violet starting, violet, indigo, blue, green, and so on. So that will happen in multiple times. That condition also we shall come ahead, how many number of bright bands we get. Okay, anyhow, so the point to be noted here, if I use white light source, what I notice is that the point to be highlighted, central bright band is of white color and remaining bands are of different color. So even for your kind information, generally in a YDSS setup, white light source they use in the initial, and that's to locate the center of screen. You might have noticed here at O, which I have referred as center of screen, I am getting white bright band. So what they do in a YDSS setup, white light they use, they see where the white bright band is there, and that is being taken or referred as a center of screen. So this is important to be remembered from the point of NEET examinations. So going ahead, the next point that I would like to discuss is, generally in the competitive exam also you might have seen the situation like this. Say I have a YDSS setup. This is my screen. I have a source S1, slit S1, slit S2, and the slit separation then again is a D. Distance of screen from slit is capital D. And now what is the important thing as a concept that I would like to bring to your notice? In front of one of the slit, that could be here or that could be here. Say I am going to take here, in what is this location P? It is in front of slit S1. That could be in front of slit S2 also. Now what they ask in the competitive exam, what are those wavelengths in front of one of the slits which are missing? So what's the point? Missing NA? You are getting a dark band over there. So the question is very simple. For which wavelength, for what wavelength you are going to get dark band in front of one of the slit? It could be here or it could be here. So let's go ahead to know about missing wavelengths. Now to go ahead with this concept, see, missing wavelength or getting wavelength that is going to be decided by again path difference. The path difference is integral multiple of lambda, appearing wavelength you can say. That wavelength is appearing there. The path difference is odd integral multiple of lambda by 2, that wavelength is missing there. So again the discussion comes to path difference. So got my point. So what I need to do, I should know the path difference first. So for your information, in a YDSC discussion, I had told you path difference in YDSC is given as xd divided by d. Where this x is this distance you can say. D you are known with, capital D you are known with. And presently I have got this x equal to how much? D by D. Sorry, D by 2. So then this I get D square divided by 2D. If I have got these two waves superposing in front of any one slit, path difference I get this much. And once I am available with path difference, over there I want missing wavelength. For missing wavelength, for dark band, path difference, which I have here 2D. How much it should be? 2n minus 1 lambda by 2. This lambda I need to know. What is that value of missing wavelength I have to calculate? So just I'll rearrange then. Lambda equal to, this 2 will get cancelled. And what is there is d square divided by 2n minus 1 into d. So I have arrived to the important equation. What is this equation for? Equation for missing wavelength in front of any one slit. By having n value different, n equal to 1. First missing wavelength I am going to have d square divided by d. N equal to 2, d square divided by 3d. N equal to 3, d square divided by 5d. So in this way, I can work out missing wavelength in front of one of the slit. Important. So after this, let us go ahead with the next concept. And the concept is, say, again YDS setup I have got. In this setup, I have got a screen over here. This is a slit S1, slit S2 you can say. And on the screen I have got alternate bright and dark bands. When I observed that pattern, what I could see is that one point P is there on the screen. What is that? Point P. Now P is going to be either bright or dark. That will get decided by again path difference. Path difference between these two waves. By geometrical method, even one simple procedure we have of getting path difference. This is shortest path S1P. This is longer path S2P. And whenever you happen to find a path difference, one simple thing you can do. From shorter path, drop a perpendicular on longer path. And once you do that, after this perpendicular plane, both the paths are of equal length. So whatever you have path difference between them, that is in arriving to this perpendicular plane. So naturally then, path difference here I have got this S to M. And that path difference S to M here, if you work out geometrically, you get that as d sine theta. How much is path difference? D sine theta. By having this angle as a theta and this as a d, you can refer to the figure and you get path difference as d sine theta. Now if I wish P to be a nth bright band, then I will have path difference d sine theta equal to n lambda. This is a condition for constructive interference I am writing. N equal to, I mean that bright P, at P I have got nth bright band. So this equation I would write sine theta equal to n lambda divided by d. And I have done this to have an important discussion. And the discussion is, I would like to know, or I will have a question in competitive exam. If wavelength of light in a YDAC is lambda, slit separation is d, then how many bright bands on the screen you get? So let us say that at P I have got last bright band as a nth bright band. Got my point? At P I have got nth bright band. You can see one limitation which I have here. Sin theta. Theta, what value I can have for theta? See over here. This is my theta. So from here 0 goes on increasing. And theoretically, what is the maximum value that I can have for theta? 90. Practically less than that. So, I will have the interference pattern reaching on the screen until this angle is theoretically equal to 90 or less than that. So, that's what the condition I'll write. Sin theta can be less than or equal to 1. So then this n lambda divided by d can be equal to or less than 1. So from here, if sin theta is equal to or less than 1, if equal to 1, you mean that you have got a last bright band on the screen. So you mean this n refers for, or n gives me n equal to, I write, what is that? N equal to or less than d divided by lambda. That n can have value given by this. Or if I want to say at P I have got last bright band, I can say n equal to d divided by lambda. So on the screen, this n as a last bright band I get if I have got sin theta equal to 1, if I have got theta equal to 90. So if anybody asks me, what is the last bright band on the screen? N equal to d by lambda, I would say. In addition to that, I may have to calculate how many total bright fringes I have got. Like 1, 2, 3, 4 n. 1, 2, 3, 4 n. Both side I have got. And in addition to that, important thing to be remembered, I did not say 1 here. This is 0th, central band, reference band. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 n. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 n. So you mean both side you have got. So total number of fringes on the screen, bright fringes I mean, I get given as 2n plus 1. This is an important equation. So how many fringes I have got? 2n plus 1 as a total number of bright fringes on the screen. So important thing. Now in addition to that, if they ask you what is the last bright band, already I have told you that n value you can work out. So in the next video we shall see what would happen to the interference pattern if we introduce a thin sheet in the path of one of the wave. What will happen to the pattern we will see. Also we shall discuss about some basic information about intensity of the interference pattern, as well as we will have a discussion about interference at thin film. So till then, till I come with the next video, till then, goodbye.